Google has been creating amazing models all year, from Nano Banana to Gemini 3 Pro, and this has led them to continuously take market share from OpenAI. After Google released Gemini 3 Pro, OpenAI saw a 6% drop in daily active users within 2 weeks of the launch. And I believe this trend will continue. One reason for this is their product velocity. Their teams have been releasing new products and iterations almost every week, specifically to Google Labs. Google Labs is a testing ground for experimental AI products where the company releases early stage AI tools to the public to gather their feedback before integrating them into their core products like Google Search, Docs, Android, or before creating a new standalone product. In this demo, I'm going to show you 7 of my favorite releases from Google Labs, including 3 design apps, 1 consumer-facing shopping app, and 3 productivity tools that I've been using almost every day this week. Let's start with the 3 design tools. First up is Stitch. Stitch allows you to turn your ideas into beautiful interface designs for apps or for the web. And they recently added a couple tools that I'm excited to show you. I wanted to create a web dashboard for indoor plant care with watering schedules, sunlight requirements per plant, and fertilization reminders. You're even given the ability to add images or even a website URL. We'll just start with that one for now. And once it generates, you can see it creates a great looking UI. And you can even take it a couple steps further. You can see that you can't really click on any of the different options here, and it's kind of just a stagnant image. So what you want to do is create the different dashboards for each page. So I'll now start by asking it to create the My Plants dashboard along with schedule, encyclopedia, and even settings. I'll do this by simply clicking what it made already and typing now create the My Plants dashboard, and I'll do this for all of the different ones that I want to make. And like many of the Google Labs projects, they all use Gemini 3's different models, from Nano Banana to Gemini 3 Pro. Now that it's generated all the different options, let's take a look. So you can see that I have the dashboard page, the My Plants page with all of my different plants. I have the care schedule as well, where it shows the days that I need to water, shows the day. It says my jungle is busy today. I like some of the copy that they've added here. It also added an encyclopedia, which ends up being kind of a AI plant expert where you can ask questions, as well as the settings page. So now from the original page, I've generated all the different ideas that I needed. And now we can take it one step further by selecting all of them, going to generate, and clicking prototype. This is a new feature that they just added. It'll add the prototype down here to the end of the project, and it's going to basically create an interactable UI using all of the elements that you've created so far. This is great for testing different UI ideas that you have. And once it's done generating, you click interact, and you can actually dive in and start clicking around in here. You can see how each different page will look when you're interacting with them, and you can start scrolling. And I honestly think that this is a really cool feature, how they're able to bring in all the different UI prototypes and combine them into one semi-functioning app. I think Stitch is a great tool. And now let's look at Pomelli. Pomelli is a tool by Google Labs which allows you to create high quality content based on your branding that already exists. So it takes your website and turns it into social posts or whatever types of content you want in seconds using AI. All you have to do is upload your brand's URL. In this example, I use ramp.com, and it found all of the different imagery, fonts, and logos that were on their website already and created a business DNA just specifically for Ramp. And you can do this for your website as well. You can see it was able to get their logo and all of their colors and images on their website. And once you have the business DNA, then you can go to campaigns. Here's where you can create different content for specific ideas that you have. So for this example, I want to showcase how easy and secure the card is to use. So I'll click generate ideas. And once you tell it what you want your campaign to be about, it'll give you some options. So here it says protect your spend instantly, spending without the stress, issue a card in 3 clicks securely. I think that I like the spending without the stress. So now let's have it create some content based around that. And just using that simple prompt, it created a bunch of different photos that I can use for like a story post, but then it goes one step further and allows you to animate them. So I already animated this slide and we can see what it created. So let's see what it made. I'm assuming using VO3. I really like this idea, and you can see I can just download it and post it right to my socials, and creating high quality content like this just took me minutes. Google recently released Mixboard, which is basically your own AI mood board. One way that I've been using it is to help me create some great logos, as well as creating some merch ideas. As you can see, I uploaded some logo options, background options, and merch options. Typically when I'm using different AI image generation tools, I'm using photos and they're all scattered all over my computer. I want to combine different ideas and then I have to keep dragging and dropping. But Mixboard allows you to put all of them in one place. So here you can see I have my logos, different background ideas, and the merch that I want to use. So I want to create a shirt for my team at launch. So I'll bring the launch logo, the background that I want the shirt to have, as well as the shirt, and I'll select all of them. Then I can go down here into the chat interface and say, put the logo on the shirt, making the background the orange scene. And then I'll click send. And you can see it basically created exactly what I wanted. It put the logo on the shirt, used the other image as the background, and I think that my team will really like this. Another example would be to select the Anthropic logo in the space theme and kind of combine them, making the Anthropic logo white because it's on the dark space background. Let's see how it does. Wow, it literally did exactly what I wanted it to do, and I'm definitely going to keep using this tool for any logo design or creating merch or basically for any other design task that I have. Now let's check out Doppl. Doppl is an app by Google Labs that allows you to try on clothes using AI. The homepage kind of reminds me of Sora, where it's basically just AI slop, but in this case, it's kind of fashion AI slop. And you can see a bunch of these different random outfits that you can actually try on. You can also like the options or even save them, which we'll get to in a bit. So the first thing that you have to do is actually upload a photo of yourself. So I chose this photo of me that my coworker took. You can then try on outfits using AI in a few different ways. First is just by clicking try on the homepage. So I like this outfit, so I'll try it on. And as it loads, it'll show you different ways you can try on clothes. In this way, you can take screenshots directly from the internet of outfits that you like and see what they look like as you try them on. So you have to go to the plus button and then click upload. And I took some screenshots of some outfits that I liked that Lewis Hamilton was wearing. I think that this one would look pretty cool. So I'll select it and click add, and then it'll start uploading. So let's see what it came up with. You have to go to this clothing hanger icon, and then you can see all of the looks that it's created for you. So let's check out this one. It really captured Lewis Hamilton's style, and I also think that it took what he was wearing and put it on me in a really neat way. And if you click the photo, Google actually goes in and searches similar outfits that they found online that kind of match the vibe. So here you can see that it found a jacket that looks similar, some pants that look similar, and the bag, and you can actually bookmark these as well as just go to their website. And here you can see some of the different outfits that I tried on, from this crazy one to this one, which was actually something that Lewis Hamilton was wearing. But for me, I think it looks more like a pink hospital gown than some stylish thing that Lewis Hamilton was wearing. And now I'll show you the 3 productivity tools that Google Labs has created. First up is Opal. Opal is a no-code mini app builder that allows you to automate simple tasks. I created one for meal planning. Typically, I'll only make breakfast at home, so I wanted Opal to help me create a mini app for when I go shopping at the grocery store to help me plan out what I'm going to cook that week. You're able to add user inputs, generate and output, as well as adding assets. User input allows you to basically create a prompt that will ask the user something in the app. So this is where you can say like, I want to eat eggs and pancakes. And I also created a user input that allows you to say how many days you want to be cooking that week in case you already planned breakfast with a friend. Then I click generate and put in a prompt that takes the information before and turns it into the meal plan. So in the prompt, it says you're an expert meal planner and grocery list generator. Your task is to create a detailed breakfast meal plan for the specific number of days tailored to the user's meal preferences and dietary needs. And then it gives it step-by-step instructions and kind of goes through some of the inputs and what it should be using. So then you want to create the output. Output is basically what you want it to look like at the end. You can create a manual layout, a web page with an auto layout, and that's what I selected. But you can also export to Google Docs, slides, and sheets. And again, I added a prompt for what I wanted the layout to look like, including the layout organization and the style design. So now let's test it out. I'll just click start. And you can see it's starting with the first user input, which is described by meal preferences. I want eggs and bacon as well as pancakes. And now I'll enter the number of days. So I think that I'll probably be cooking breakfast for myself 5 days this week. And now it's generating. And you can see it created my meal plan. So on the first day, it has scrambled eggs. The second day, it has pancakes with maple syrup. The third day is eggs, bacon, and pancakes. So there's a lot there. Day 4 is another eggs and bacon as well. Day 5 is banana pancakes with a side of bacon. But I didn't just want it to plan my meals out. I wanted it to actually help me when I go to the grocery store. So here below, it made a full grocery list. You can see it also separated it by theme. So dairy and refrigerated, it has every option there. Everything that you'd find in the pantry aisles are all in one section, the meats and the produce. This is great, and I've been using this whenever I go to the grocery store. And I can also share with friends just by going to share app, publishing it, and copying the link and sending it around. Two more releases from Google Labs are GenTabs in Disco and Jules. Google Labs Disco is an experimental way to discover new generative AI features on the web. The first feature that they're releasing is GenTabs. This uses Gemini 3 to remix your open tabs into custom apps. One example is planning a road trip, where you can tell Disco kind of what you want to get up to, and it'll help you create a plan, not just by giving you generic AI text output, but actually creating an interactive way to help you plan your trip by helping you find different activities, planning out what the weather is going to look like, and more. Google Labs also released Jules, which is an AI coding agent that acts like a remote software engineer. The way that it works is that you give it a task, it completes the work and returns with a finished pull request for you to review. And it works in a secure sandbox by cloning your repository into a temporary virtual machine. And this allows it to actually run the code before showing it to you, where it gives you the option to accept the change. And that was a quick run through of all the Google Labs projects that I've been checking out. Thanks for tuning in to This Week in AI, and I'll see you next time.